Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maurice. The speech I'm about to give is entitled The Hypocrisy of American Slavery. It was given by Frederick on the 4th of July, 1852. Leading citizens of Rochester, New York, asked Douglas to give a speech as part of their independence celebrations. Now, he found it quite contradictory that they would ask a former slave to speak at their celebrations. Nevertheless, he gracefully accepted their invitation. Fellow citizens, pardon me and allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I or those I represent to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and confess the benefits of your independence to us? Would to God, both for your sakes and ours, that an affirmative answer could be truthfully returned to these questions. Then would my task be light and my burden easy and delightful. But such is not the state of the case. I say with a sad sense of disparity between us, I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens, to mock me by asking me to speak today? Above your national tumultuous joy, I heard a mournful wail of millions whose chains, grievous yesterday, are today rendered more intolerable by the jubilant shouts that reach them. If I do forget, if I do not remember those bleeding children of sorrow this day, may my right hand forget her cunning, and may my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. My subject then, fellow citizens, is American slavery. I shall see this day and its popular characteristics from the slave's point of view. Standing here, identified with the American bondman, making his wrongs mine, I do not hesitate to declare with all my soul that the character and conduct of this nation never seemed blacker to me than on this 4th of July. Whether we turn to the declarations of the past or to the professions of the present, the conduct of the nation seems equally hideous and revolting. America is forced to the past, forced to the present, and solemnly binds herself to be forced to the future. Standing with God and the crushed and bleeding slave on this occasion, I will, in the name of humanity, which is outraged in the name of the Constitution and the Bible, dare to call into question and to denounce everything that seeks to perpetuate slavery, the great sin and shame of America. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will use the severest language I can command, and yet not one word shall escape me, that any man who is not at heart a slaveholder shall not confess to be right and just. Would you have me to argue that man is entitled to liberty? That he is the rightful owner of his own body? You have already declared it. Must I argue the wrongfulness of slavery? How should I look today in the presence of Americans, dividing and subdividing a discourse to show that man has a natural right to freedom? To do so would be to make myself ridiculous and to offer an insult to your understanding. There is not a man beneath the canopy of heaven who does not know that slavery is wrong for him. What? Am I to argue that it is wrong to make men brutes, to work them without wages, to beat them with sticks, to hunt them with dogs, to sunder their families, to burn their flesh, to starve them into obedience and submission to their masters? Must I argue that a system thus marked with blood and stained with pollution is wrong? No, I will not. I have better employment for my time and strength than such arguments would imply. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than any other day of the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your songs of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, are to him mere fraud, deception, and hypocrisy. There is not a nation of the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Go search where you will. Roam through the monarchies of the old world. Travel through South America. Search out every abuse. And when you have found the last, lay your facts by the side of the everyday practices of this nation. And you will say with me that for revolting barbarity and shameless hypocrisy, America reigns without a rival. I thank you.